mark so that Mawira. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair and members. My name is Mithika. I'll be making the opening statement on behalf of the Cabinet Secretary. I'll do 30 minutes, and my colleague, Mr. Mawira, will do 10 minutes. Unfortunately, sometimes my eyes is challenged, so I don't mind, Chair, if you interrupt me at the 30-minute mark so that Mawira. My name is Mithika. I'll be making the opening statement on behalf of the Cabinet Secretary. I'll do 30 minutes, and my colleague, Mr. Mawira, will do 10 minutes. Unfortunately, sometimes my eyes is challenged, so I don't mind, Chair, if you interrupt me at the 30-minute mark so that Mawira.
on whether the mover can call before the committee witness whose statement were not initially part of the motion as passed by the House, it is notable that Standing Order 64 primarily concerns procedural matters and does not prescribe the specific evidence to be presented before the committee. Number two, what is important is that these investigations by this committee should and will not go outside the allegations in the special motion. Number three, consequently, the committee shall allow any party to invite witnesses or produce new evidence, provided that the evidence strictly relates to the allegations contained in the motion. Number four, the committee will not entertain any witness or evidence that is not relevant to or that purports to introduce new allegations outside the allegations as passed by the National Assembly. Number five, we shall give a detailed and reasoned ruling in our report on this matter. Can the committee summon the Principal Secretary for the State Department for Agriculture and the Managing Director for Linturi'S Chemical Limited as requested by the sponsor of the motion? The response, Article 125 of the Constitution, Section 18 of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act, Standing Order 191, and our own rules of procedures gives power to this committee to summon any person to appear before it. Having said this, Honorable Waname Wamboka should first provide the evidence for laying basis for the request so as to demonstrate the need for the exercise by the committee to summon the Principal Secretary for the State Department for Agriculture and the Managing Director for Linturi'S Chemical Limited. The parties are accordingly guided. On referral of matters under consideration by the Select Committee, I urge all parties to restrain themselves from referring to the substance of the proceedings of the Select Committee before the committee has concluded and made up its report to the House. As per the adjustment of time, the committee has agreed that opening statement will take 40 minutes, cross-examination and under the sponsor and the cabinet secretary, we have given 60 minutes, and the rest of the witnesses 20 minutes. Closing statement, 1 hour. The parties are, as I said, the parties are accordingly guided, and we will proceed.
Much obliged, Your Honor.
Thank you. Opening statements by Honorable Wamboka, and you have 40 minutes, sorry. As I said, we have allocated 40 minutes, and please be guided by the clock on the
Asante sana, Madam Mwenyekiti. Of my 40 minutes, I'll give some remarks, then I'll allow my advocate to say something about the same. This is a case of gross violations of the Constitution, gross misconduct, and ministerial responsibility. National agenda of this administration of William Ruto on food security is noble. And from the onset, I must say, we support the president because agriculture is the backbone. If the country is food secure, then you have a healthy nation. It is too critical a matter for this country to be jeopardized. Madam Chair. Various violations meted out against innocent Kenyans through distribution of fake fertilizer, as we will be demonstrating to this noble committee. Consumer rights have been violated, and someone must be held accountable. Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock has got ahead. Who must take responsibility? In fact, in serious democracies, by now, the minister should have resigned. Honorable Committee. This is one of the flagship of Honorable William Ruto. And as I said, we support the president. And that is why I'll draw your attention to the voting in the House. Honorable Chair, it was bipartisan. It was bipartisan. That is how serious this matter is. I've looked at the responses from my good friend, and indeed is my friend, Mithika Linturi. There's a Luya saying that says, I would wish that this should become this, so that I don't listen to what the Honorable Minister is trying to say. That, Honorable Chair, 149 members of Parliament, and indeed those who were in the House that day, will understand that there were more people. Cards were not working, and the Speaker ruled on this. 19 members, including the Honorable Nabina Bwera, my good uncle, the Honorable Michomba, they did not vote. 19 members of Parliament who supported this motion and who were in the House did not vote. It should be understood that 24 members of Parliament were out of the country, had petitioned the Clerk of the National Assembly if they can vote virtually. 24. Those numbers are growing. It is incredibly and serious. Honestly, a whole National Assembly saying something is wrong. Something is wrong. And it will be whatever happens to this case, it will be it will be not business as usual. Because that voting, it was a vote of no confidence to the minister. It has consequences. I would be keen to imagine how ambassadors will be dealing with it. Our good friends on high moral ground, the United States, the EU, of which we shall be appealing to them, that indeed the National Assembly has passed a vote of no confidence. In that alone, it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. And I think the minister has guts even to be here today. This motion is not about me. This motion is not about the National Assembly. I had some good friends in Meru saying we are targeted. No, we have very many good Merus, including my good friend, who is at times my lawyer. He's a good Meru. He's a good Meru. It's not about Merus. Merus are good people, and I want it to be understood in this committee. It is not about Kenya Kwanza. Honorable Chair, it's not about Azimio. It is Honorable Franklin Mithika Linturi versus the Republic of Kenyan Farmers and Diaspora. I did indicate I come from a border town. Ugandans buy things from Kenya. Kenyans buy things from Uganda. My good sister would know this. Nahayo, the Iron Lady, would understand this. The Ugandans came and bought fertilizer from Kenya, subsidized. What should they do? What should they do? I have looked at the document submitted by my good friend Mithika Linturi, and it's nothing more than a love letter from a jilted lover. That these are grievous matters of national importance to be reduced to love matters. Ukiachwa hachika. Hachika. It is indeed unfair to keep dragging the good lady, my sister, Marianne, into these matters. She has a right kukukata, kukukubali. Allow her to proceed on with her life. Including the Honorable Chair, that it should be unfair that your private matters should keep coming up anytime serious matters are raised. The good lady should be left in peace because she has a life, she has a family, she has children, and she needs to move on. We shall speak. This is a select committee. We shall say that which we want to say and that which we think is important to this committee. I did indicate yesterday that very many people approached me to drop this motion. I refused. And in fact, I told one of them, I'm different from the Honorable Mithika Linturi. It should be understood, Honorable Chair, that the Honorable Mithika Linturi started a process such as this. This was going to be the second one in the new constitutional order. Had he been serious, he went ahead, he collected signatures, it was put on the order paper, his motion. What did he do? He went to Naivasha, was given money and love.
Yeah.
That indeed it is a demonstration.
Chair, I have a point of order.
Point of order by
Yes.
Honorable.
We've made it very clear that any statements made by a witness, the sponsor, or the respondent must be substantiated. Allegations have been made about going to Naivasha, money being exchanged. Unfortunately, we do not have any substantiation on that. Let's not use this opportunity to malign one another. I think we should observe decorum, and we must be welcome.
Honorable Chair, it is indeed in public. It is indeed in National Assembly records that a motion to impeach one Anne Waiguru appeared on the order paper. It is indeed in records of the courts. In the divorce case of the Honorable Franklin Mithika Linturi and Aldai Member of Parliament, Marianne Keitani, as to where the member
Honorable Wamboka, I think you should limit yourself to the subject.
Well guided, Chair. That, Madam Chair, I'm a serious Kenyan. I had to do this, and I have done this. Those who don't know, I'm defined by Bayaya, Baala, Banyangali, and Batachoni clans. That definition, those sub-tribes cannot allow me to be bought, cannot allow me to be subverted. That is why we are here. It's because I'm serious, and I will die for the farmers of Kenya. The Honorable Minister has dragging me in dragging strangers in the name of my alleged affairs, which cannot negate the fact that innocent Kenyans are suffering. I would want to understand, by you saying that so and so is Jack's wife, is the honorable member's wife, how does that relate to the suffering of Kenyans? How does that relate? And if indeed honorable chair of Justice Committee is fair, is only seeing one side when we speak, why should the minister bring no, I'm reacting. It is in his submissions.
I don't want this committee to be turned, this investigation to be turned into love affair investigation. Please limit yourself to your motion.
Yes, Honorable Chair, but it must be noted and be on record that in his submissions.
Yeah, point of order by Honorable Rachel, Dr.
Chair, I did not intend to interfere with statements that the Honorable Moka is making, but I would like to raise a matter on Standing Order 77 concerning the language that we use. And 77 says, all proceedings in the House shall be conducted in Kiswahili, English, or in Kenyan Sign Language. Twice, Honorable Chair, the Honorable Wamboka has mentioned words in a language that we did not understand, and I thought that he was going to translate so that we can understand. This may make us miss some of the information that you would like to tell us. So is it in order for him to use that language, which I'm not able to tell which language it is, because we are not able to understand that particular portion?
I'm sorry, Madam Chair. What I meant is I would wish that my ears become my sitting apparatus so that I cannot hear all this. That's what I meant. But well guided. Madam Chair, I've got one wife, which is public knowledge. This is not a forum to bequeath me with imaginary wives. And in any case, does it matter? I'm on this honorable chair because he brought it. If you look at his submissions, it's there.
Point of order, Chair. Point of order by Honorable Jen.
Chair, I believe it is very important that if you make a ruling, the honorable member understands that you are directing him on what to confine himself on. And Honorable Chair, if someone disregards that ruling, then you should be able to also call them out of order.
Well guided. Well guided. Well guided. But just to note, this is not a divorce case. Madam Chair, we are discussing the conduct of Honorable Mithika Linturi, that we want him removed from the office. Out of this world, I was just imagining, when he was being interrogated to be minister, he said he has in excess of 30 cases in court. We are all Kenyans, members of parliament. Why him? Why him? Why him? We are speaking. We have a saying in Luya land. The hyena told the stone. You remember the case of J.M. Kariuki when they were investigating his death? Mwangale told his house. It's a house of records. The hyena told the stone that even if you keep quiet, you've heard me. Honorable Mithika Linturi, even if through the chair, even if you keep quiet, you've heard the cries of the Kenyan people. Thank you, Madam Chair. Now call my lawyer, the Honorable Dr. Haminwa, to give the balance of my minutes. Asanteni sana, Mungu ambariki.
Honorable members of Select Committee, I feel really privileged to appear before you. It is a great honor.
Point of order by Honorable Moses.
When you were speaking from there, we were having difficulties to hear you. But again, it's there. We are still experiencing the same. We will get you well.
Okay, I'll speak loudly. I'm sorry.
Get closer to them.
Your ears may be like mine. I'll try to speak loudly. Honorable select members, it's a great privilege to me to appear before you, particularly at my age. Last time I appeared in this matter of this kind was when we were handling Judicial Commission of Inquiry into Golden Bag. This was set up by the then President, Mwai Kibaki, and I had the honor and the privilege of being the lead counsel in that particular case. I thank the Honorable Member Wanani Moka for nominating me to appear for him in this matter. The matter you have before you is in some respects very substantially similar to the matter we had in Golden Park. Honorable members of the Select Committee, we have always had a problem in this country since we got independence. And the problem is of what I term, and some academicians term, portfolio corruption. Individuals who have been given portfolios and they are corrupt. The word corrupt here does not necessarily mean one taking money, but one not being responsible in his job or the job that he has been given by the president or by the state. This is the case we have in this before you today. What is important to look at is perception. Perception is important. Strictly speaking, in this case, one does not have to need evidence at all. It is a case that can be determined on perception. Honorable Linturi was given a high office of being Minister for Agriculture. If I may say so, this is perhaps the most powerful ministry in the government, which is supposed to take care of issues of poverty that we have in the country. He was responsible. He cannot turn around and say that I was not.